I said it's a I said it's a I said it's a purple pants premonition.
And we are back for your month of March, Purple Pants Premonitions. And of course, I am joined by the co host, Gary DeAndre. Welcome back to the podcast. How are you feeling today?
You know what? I'm blessed and highly favored. We're in a new month. We're in the month of March. We got some things going on in the month of March that I'm looking forward to. I'm excited that we are getting out of Miss Winter because Miss Winter was cold and dreary. So I'm just happy that she's about to be done China Bun and out of here. Okay. But how about yourself?
I am good. I feel like February was an interesting month. It was my birthday month. And, normally everyone's like, happy birthday. I don't necessarily think that this birthday was a happy birthday. It more was a birthday for me.
Mhm.
No particular reason as to why. Just that's where the spirit was giving. And so I tried to just follow the spirit and push through. But I'm excited that the groundhog, I don't know if she saw her shadow or didn't see her shadow, but they said that spring may be coming early. And we're recording today and it's sunny and it's 74 degrees. So I'm living for what is to come.
Okay, she's on the horizon. I can feel her. Listen, it's like 5:30 and the sun is starting to set and everything like that. I'm like, oh, Miss Spring is trying to spring. She's trying to get out here. She's trying to show up, and I'm not mad at her because listen, I've been calling for her. She's been a very dreary winter and honestly, kind of depressing. Like, I don't know
Right.
about you and the weather where it was where you were yesterday, but it was overcast. It was rainy. It was sad. I was over it. So I'm welcoming all of the nice spring weather. We don't need to be too hot though, because she like to play out here. I
No,
ain't trying
no,
to get
no.
that. No 80 degrees and shit like that or stuff like that coming up. Like we need her to be nice and mild, a nice 60 degrees. You know what I'm saying? Keep it cute. That's
Yeah.
all I'm looking for. Okay.
Yes. Keep the sun out, sis, until 6:37. It's not much to ask for.
Okay. I'm not asking for much. Not asking for much. But yes, I'm excited to be back for our month of March's Purple Pants Premonitions, mainly because I feel like we have a lot of good things that are going to be coming for us this month. We also know that we have the spring equinox taking place as we step through Pisces season into Aries season. So that happens sometime in the middle of March. I want to say around like March 21st, March 22nd, if I'm not mistaken. So that's the transition from the astrological year of what we experienced from this time last year up until this time of this year. So I feel like those energies are going to help us as we shift from the 2023 to 2024 energy to the 24 to 25 energy. It's going to be really nice for us. And we get to start anew. So I want us to think about what we are doing to help us to plan our month of March out, and also just thinking about the plans that we have for the rest of the year, because this is the time to make sure that we're using those energies in order to help us to be very, very intentional about where we see ourselves going. Maybe, in the past couple of months in January and February, it was hard to get our minds right. It was hard to kind of like see through the fog that was happening because we're in the middle of winter. Things are moving slow, but this energy is about to pick up really, really fast. So I want us to just be mindful of the fact that we can see some good things happening on the horizon. So I'm excited to see what the cards say in addition to that. But
Yeah.
how are you feeling as we're getting ready to transition? I know that you said that you experienced your birthday and everything. Now we're about 2 weeks out from your birthday at this point. So we're in the new year, your life and everything like that. So you are kind of aligned with the new energy. So how are you feeling as you're stepping into this brand new year of your life and everything?
I'm feeling hopeful. I'm feeling open. I feel like after my birthday, I felt like the relief that it's over and that I can just be present and, really just kind of expect the unexpected. And I also feel like just like random little good things have been happening here and there, just little stuff that have been picking up my spirit. So it's like I am
Mm,
ready for the anew. I feel like I really am in planning stages. Like, what's next? What do I want to do? How can I ensure that the rest of the year is on an upward trajectory? So I'm feeling
yeah.
refreshed.
Yes, we love that. We love that feeling refreshed. We love that it sounds like you're feeling successful as well. And
Yeah.
all of that combined is going to provide something very, very meaningful and also something very impactful. So fingers crossed that everything is going in the right direction for you and also for the listeners out there. Okay.
Yes.
So I want to hop straight into our card reading for the day. We're going to be using the Fifth Spirit Tarot in order to help ground us. Then I have 2 other decks that I want to use. So let's just go ahead and see what the energy for the month of March is going to be. So we're going to look at March 2024. Child, I started shuffling cards and my legs started going. You know how like start tapping?
Yeah.
Child, legs start tapping. So I guess we're about to see it's going to be moving real fast, okay? This is making me feel that like. So before I begin with the cards, I was doing my own personal reading before we stepped into 2024, and this month of March for my yearly spread was represented in the Knight of Swords in reverse. So for those of us that aren't familiar with tarot, the Knight of Swords in reverse is normally somebody who can be a little impulsive, is normally somebody who can be a little like all over the place, right? And they need to really ground themselves in their plans, in their ideas, in what it is that they're working on in order to see things through. So this is also just a message for anybody out there. If you've been feeling inconsistent, if you've been feeling impatient, this is your time to think about being patient, because you got to make sure that you are welcoming some of the things that are going to be coming your way. This is also a really great month of planning as well. So making sure that we have things written down is going to be really important. Not to put you on blast or nothing like that, but when is the last time you wrote your plans out?
Ooh. You see how Gary DeAndre tried to call you to the carpet, okay? So what is weird, it's been a long time, but I think that what I do though, and the spirit always leads me that I need to be doing those things, but whenever I take a nap or before I go to sleep, I really try to like give myself like these moments of like positive affirmations and really like talking through what I want tomorrow to be, what I want like the next day to be. And I really feel like during those moments before I take a nap or go to sleep, that is like the perfect time for me to actually be writing out what I want, what are the things that I want to see. So I mean, it's been a while, but I also received this friendly reminder to get back on my Zoom.
Okay, I was about to say, listen, I'm only saying it to you because we can be accountability partners on that one, because I too have not been writing my intentions and like my goals and like my desires down, and that's mainly because my head has been so scattered. So it's been really hard to just like sit and put some intention and focus into that. So that's just a reminder for anybody out there, like if you've been feeling a little heady lately, that's just the energy of like what we have been seeing. So this would be a great month for you to get back to your core of like being organized. Organization is going to be really important in the month of March because it's a long month. So we have to make sure that we are planning. We have to make sure that we are patient. We have to make sure that we are seeing these things through, because they are going to be what helps us to be successful in this month. The other thing that's going to also help us to be successful this month is making sure that we're not holding on to anything that doesn't need to be held on to, right? We got to shake it off and we got to let it go. Okay. So it's like whatever you got to do to shake it off, you got to heal it, you got to release it, and then move on is going to be the most important advice for us as we're going throughout the month of March. So first card that I pulled is the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. So the Queen of Pentacles, normally when the Queen of Pentacles comes up, the Queen of Pentacles to me is someone who is organized with everything that's happening in their lives. I think of them as someone who gets to sit on their throne and who also just gets to see all of the hard work that they've done. It's like all of the patience and planning has really come out because they have all of their materials in place the right way. Like they're being mindful of all of the work that they've done to get to that place. But because it's coming up in reverse here, maybe we haven't been doing the work that we need to. And this is calling us to be able to be mindful of some of the material things that either we need to release because they're taking us out of our focus. So it's like spring cleaning is the advice I'm getting here. So it's like spring cleaning of the spirit, spring cleaning of your house, like in preparation to make space, right? I also think about this as what are we growing in the month of March? right? Some of us are have a green thumb, so maybe we're working on our actual plants. Some of us are actually growing some of the things that we want to see in our life as we're going throughout this month. And this is going to be really important for us to figure out, how are we watering those plants? How are we watering those ideas? How are we watering those desires to see them grow and know that things are not going to be instantaneous? Rome was not built in a day. But sometimes we can't grow things because we're busy trying to put our energy and our minds and our focus into other stuff that doesn't need our attention. So how are we focused on the things that actually deserve and desire our attention in the month of March, and put some of our focus there? How do we do that? By finding balance, which is represented in the Two of Swords in reverse. So the Two of Swords in reverse comes up when we are feeling very, very heady and when we need to make a decision. Maybe that indecision is what is causing us to be a little overwhelmed. And I want to think about some of the things that we've been having a hard time deciding with. Now, for me, I can only speak for myself because it's pushing me to speak on that. It's like I've been trying to decide whether or not, like, do I stay in my physical apartment? Like, do I stay in New York? Like, what are some of the things that are keeping me here? Where do I want to move to? Like, do I need to make that decision in order to make a move? What is hindering me from making a move? And I feel like I've been talking about this for years because I've been in New York for almost 10 years at this point. But you know how sometimes in your spirit, when your spirit is like, girl, this ain't it. And you know it's not it. And you lying to yourself that this is it. My foot is shaking as I'm saying it. It's saying,
and there's been so many times in my life that I have felt that, and sometimes I'm scared to move, and life will move you, right?
Yeah.
Like, so I feel like when you are feeling that way, like, it's like I'm giving you the heads up, like, make the move, but also it's like I'm also giving you the heads up that we're moving, right? Like life is going to move you. There have been plenty of times in my life that has happened, and I have had that feeling of like complacency. Like I've had that feeling of like I'm outgrowing where I'm at or what I'm doing or even how I'm feeling. And yeah, so no, I I receive that so much.
Yes, and I'm saying it to myself as well because like I get so caught up in my head, and the swords, the suit of swords is all mental, right? So it's really about us just like having to get out of our heads and getting into our bodies and listening to what our bodies say, because our bodies sometimes know faster than our minds do, because our mind is trying to basically trick us, because it thinks it knows best. And sometimes our spirit is trying to move us in the right direction. So we have to trust that as we are going throughout this month. So it's like, what are you needing to clean up? Okay, as Mama Cerie said, Miss Cerie, clean that up a bit. Okay, you got to clean that up a bit. You feel what I'm saying? So what is you cleaning up? And Five of Cups comes up in reverse, because this is also saying that as you're cleaning things up, don't think of losing things. Think of gaining things. It's all about our perspective, right? So this is asking us for a perspective change. How are you allowing yourself to change your perspective as you are going throughout this cleansing that you're finding yourself in the midst of? This is also about just like the way that we look at things. Like, are you a glass half empty? Are you a glass half full type of person? Like, are you the type of person who wakes up and is like negative Nancy? Are you positive Pam? So I'm pushing us to be positive Pam instead of negative Nancy as we're going throughout the month of March, and starting to set our intentions and telling ourselves about the things that we know that we can do instead of what we're not able to do. Because the way that we frame things this month is going to be really impactful for the way that we see success happening in our life, even if things are failures.
So let me ask you this, right? Because again, when I am taking my power naps or when I'm going to sleep, I try to remind myself every day that, like, sometimes I'll admit I'm a glass half empty girly. I think that I don't know if that's like the Pisces in me. I don't know if that's the like, wanting to protect what I have. So it's like if I don't expect more, I'll be happy with less. But I really do feel like in these last maybe month, right, I have been trying to set my intentions on being the positive Pam and really being like, I know where I can be negative. I know where I'm lacking. I can acknowledge that. Like, and I'm saying to myself, like, we're going to be better. We're going to be better. I like tell myself before I go to sleep, we're going to have a good day today. Like, Nobody gonna get in our way. Like no one's gonna get on
Okay.
our nerves. We're not gonna be mean to anybody. We're not gonna like have that nasty spirit. And so I set those intentions so clear. But girl, it seemed like I get up, my day start, and it's like I am bombarded with the BS, and I'm like, child, here come negative Nancy. And so
Okay.
it's like so hard for me in those moments to remember what I am intentionally trying to be because I feel like the realm is trying me. And I'm
Okay.
like, but I go to sleep and then sometimes I lose like faith because I'm like, I am setting these intentions. Like I am saying to myself, I want to be better. I'm saying to myself, like all of the things that I know that I struggle or the areas that I could do better. And then it's like, I am just constantly met with the ish that
Mm-hmm.
for me reinforces why my glass is half empty.
Yes. And what I will say to that kept sitting on my spirit is like, that's because you're doing it by yourself. And you're trying to like set those intentions like alone. And sometimes you got to tap somebody in and be like, listen, sister, I'm feeling negative right now, and I need you to pump me up. Sometimes the prayer that comes from you can't just be praying on your own. You got to get your prayer warriors intact. You feel
Mm.
what I'm saying? And you got to rely on your community in order to help pull you out of that. Because there are going to be days where you wake up and it's going to be like, child, I don't know if I'm doing this. Because I'll even, listen, hand to God, this morning, I woke up and I was depressed. I was not feeling it. I laid in bed until maybe like 9:30, and 9:30 is very late for me. And I had a depression meditation tone going on in the background because I was sad. And I was like, what are some of the things that I can do in order to pull myself out of this funk? I was watching Australian Survivor this morning. That was nice. And then I did a nice little Instagram live this morning. So it got me to connect with people like virtually. So that actually helped me. I'm connecting with you today. That's really good for me because, you know, I always love seeing your face, child. And it's like doing those things to help me to just like connect to other people were some of the things that helped me to like turn the wig around. Okay, so I had to turn the wig around. Let the light come shine in. And I had to let the light shine in. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like you may be feeling that on, you know, a whim, but it's like some of the things that you do in order to help to shift that energy. There has to be actual movement. There has to be actual action in order to change it. And sometimes that's not something that you can do by yourself. Getting, you know what I'm saying? Like getting that assistance from external sources can really be of benefit. And sometimes we forget that like community is really what saves us in those moments of peril and despair. So I would encourage you, lay on your prayer warriors. I mean, you got me as always, and you got the Purple Pants posse. You know, you got them as well, and they
Yes.
out there, and your people. You know what I'm saying? Just trust on that, and that's where things will help you to just like shift the waters of your life from that perspective. But that's what I would say for you, and even for the listeners out there. But it's just being very mindful of like being not in your head, and that's so much easier said than done. But the way that we get out of our heads and into our bodies is by actually like moving, physically moving and doing things. So that could be a piece of advice for somebody out there as well. So maybe this is the month that somebody, when they feeling their little, their little sadness, go for a run,
Mm,
go for a walk.
mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like catch up with somebody and y'all can go sit down for dinner. Like whatever works in order to get you out of your physical space and break up that monotony is going to be really, really helpful for you throughout the month of March. How does that sound?
I receive it. I I receive it.
Amen. 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 And amen again. So I want to move into our psychic tarot for the heart deck just to see what is our heart saying as we're going throughout the month of March. So let's go ahead and give her a good little shuffle, see what she's talking about. Because I know our hearts have been feeling, everybody's heart been feeling a little heavy lately. People I've been talking to just feels like there's a lot going on in our world at a global level, in our lives at a granular level. So I want to see how the psychic tarot for the heart can speak to that. Okay. She don't want to shuffle no more. She said we done shuffling. So can I just get one card just to represent for the month of March what our hearts should be focused on? What should our hearts be focused on? Ah, she said choose your battles, baby.
Mm.
choose your battles. Some things are going to be worth it to fight for, and some things are just better to be left by the wayside. Okay. So listen, if Papa Pimp is not doing what he needs to do and you got to leave him by the wayside, leave him by the wayside. If the job is trying it and they're trying you and you know it's not worth it because you're just trying to keep your job, just choose your battles wisely. I wish that it had wisely at the very end of that, but I'm going to add it. It's saying for you to stand your ground and just like be mindful that sometimes you got to stand up for yourself in some situations because that's what you deserve to do. But then sometimes it's not really worth all that because it's going to be taken away from you. So being mindful of the energy that you are using when you are going into battle. Listen, every day is a battlefield in some way, shape, or form. I want to sit with that for a second. Every day is a battlefield in some way, shape, or form. But it's one, choosing the weapons that you go into battle with, and two, also knowing sometimes when you don't have enough weapons in your arsenal to fight. And you got to back off and be like, listen, I concede. And sometimes that's okay. It takes a mature person to know when to take a step back. Okay? So when it comes to our hearts and when it comes to how our hearts are speaking to our mind, it's important to know what is my heart saying in this moment? And is it saying that this is worth putting my energy, my effort, my time, my patience into? Or is this something where I just need to take a step back and know that the universe, God, spirit, the ancestors, my angels are doing the work for me and things are going to work out for the better good if I just take a step back? Sometimes the battle that you need to win is not a battle that you need to be fighting. Sometimes somebody else should be fighting that battle for you. And you got to be mindful of the fact that you got to rely on somebody else in order to get the help. But you got to also get outside of yourself and allow yourself to get the help that you need or get the assistance that you need in order to go into battle. Another thing I want to say here is normally when a person goes into battle, they're not going by themselves. Okay? They with community. So be mindful of the people that you have going to fight with you as you are going throughout this month, of March, going throughout this season. Because as you can see on the card, it's not just one person that you're fighting, it's three of them. But it's you standing your ground in front of the three of them, knowing that you are strong enough to stand on your own. But you also can see that with this person that's standing on the card, hold on, there we go. They've got some energy surrounding them. So they're not by themselves. They have somebody, some energy that's surrounding them in order to help them feel super, super strong. So call that in. Call that energy in as you are going throughout this month. So that way you don't feel by yourself. If that's through prayer, if that's through setting intentions, like whatever is going to be helpful for you is going to be really, really impactful as you're going throughout this month. Sound good? I feel like I just spoke a word to you. Oh, you muted.
Oh, my bad. I say yes. Every month I feel like you are speaking a word to me. It's giving me that MJ song. You're not alone. I am here for you.
Okay, listen.
Though you're far away. Okay, listen.
Though you are far away, isn't it I'm here to stay? Okay.
Yes.
Very that. Very that. Very that. So as we're being mindful of our perspective, as we're being mindful of choosing our battles, as we're being mindful of getting out of our head, I want to think about what crystal could help us and what piece of advice could help us as we're going throughout this month. So our daily crystal inspiration. Ooh. Okay.
She flew out.
She flew out. She said, listen, here's your inspiration. And the inspiration for today says, Red Jasper, take action. Take action. Sit with that for a second. What does it mean for you to take action this month? And I'm going to call the woe is me girlies out because I'm one of those woe is me girlies. Okay. Woe is not you. Take action. Do something. Be productive. Be persistent. Be persistent. Okay. Like you got to be persistent and take action throughout this month. Working with Red Jasper could be helpful. And some of the ideas that come along with red jasper, because it is a stone that works with your root chakra. So it's about you feeling grounded in the actions that you are taking. So when we are thinking about feeling grounded in the actions that we are taking, we want to make sure that our body feels connected to the things that we are doing. Don't do things out of haste, right? Do things that feel connected to yourself because you've taken some time to think about it, and you taking some time to really just like process, like, is this the right action for me? There's no need for you to be impulsive, right? But there is room for you to make some decisions that are going to be helpful for you on your journey as you are moving forward. Now, red jasper comes with some questions that I want to ask you. Red jasper asks, hold on, let me get to her. Her core questions are, how would it feel to accomplish the things that you've been procrastinating?
Mm.
What is the first step toward completion of one of those tasks? So it's important for you to just get on that to-do list of things. This is a month of getting things accomplished. Motivate yourself to take action and cross even the most tedious task off your to-do list. Getting started is half the battle, but it's equally important to be dedicated and finish what you start so you have a sense of accomplishment at the end of the day. So what do you need to take some action with? You shaking your head because this is a read, isn't it?
They're all a read. Because even when the action card came up, the first thing in my mind was like, to be proactive is an
Mm-hmm.
action. But no, this is for sure a read for me, because it's like I have been so slacking on like just like my physical health aspect of things, of like working out, running, just doing the things, one, that are good for me, make me look and feel good, and also like are so beneficial to my mind. And I feel like normally by this time in the year, like I'm at least, trying to get out, but I've just been so in my mind. Okay, Heather Headley. But I've just
Mm-hmm.
been in my mind, not with community, isolating myself and kind of like just trying to weather the storm. So I just feel like this premonition is on all levels of fronts to really kind of like calling me out. And I feel like when I was sharing with you, like how sometimes I will go to bed and have these positive affirmations, and then life happens, and then it's like, oh, it puts me off course. But it's reminding me that today, this message, like this is
Mm-hmm.
reinforcing that, like, all the things that I need to be doing, all the things that I'm telling to myself. So it's like this whole March premonition has been a read. So no, I'm here for it.
Yes. And remember, March is long. So we have a lot of time to be able to do all these things. It's only my third day out here, okay? It's only the third day. So
I've
we
only
have
been out here
plenty of
3 days or whatever.
okay. It's like we have plenty of time in order to make these things become reality. So you don't have to be you don't have to move fast in order to get these things done. It's about writing it out and just knowing that you will see it to completion, but taking the first step towards that action. So whatever that looks like today, whatever that looks like throughout this month, make sure that you're following that energy and making sure that you're following that intention, because it's going to be super, super helpful for you to make some space. We won't see things change if we don't have space in order to have the change come into our lives. And if our attention is going elsewhere, right, then we're not going to be able to focus on the things that are the most important for us that are coming up in the future. That's what these cards are pointing to. It's all about how can we move from a space of being stuck to a space of being fulfilled, and a space of feeling like we know that we're choosing our battles wisely, right? And know that the actions that we are taking are going to be beneficial for our future. So those are my premonitions for the month of March.
Yes.
And I hope that y'all love this. I hope that this is exactly what y'all need. And yeah, this month is going to be, she's going to be a hefty one, but I feel like the way that you feel now comparatively to the end of this month, there will be some answers that come your way that help you to transition into the next phase of whatever chapter of your life that you're looking to be in. Just be patient.
Mhm.
And that's all I got.
Well, we receive it on behalf of the posse. Thank you so much, Gary DeAndre, for always blessing our lives and, speaking power and action into us. Before we close out, what does Gary DeAndre have going on? Is March, in my opinion, that means we are one more month closer to May, the release of your
Mhm.
tarot deck. So, listen, what you got going on in these
Yes.
streets?
So right now, I wanted to, since you mentioned the tarot deck, because I don't know if I showed the hard copy, but you can check out Tarot for You and Me, a queer deck and guidebook. Uh, the words are by me. The illustrations are by Jess Fostetique. You can check this out. You can check out my Instagram at Gangsta Gangsta with an egg, because we don't do that ER Buster-ish over here. And you can purchase you a copy. It comes out May 28th, so keep that in mind. Aside from that, I am really focused on me. Transparency moment. I've just been trying to figure out like what I'm doing with all my ish. You feel what I mean? And trying to figure out like what pathway am I taking things? Like where am I going? I know that these have been impactful, but I'm like, what's the next step? What's the next level? I'm trying to figure it out. So fingers crossed that hopefully March brings me some clarity with that. But right now, if you're interested in getting your own services from me, you can just hit me up. We can get something scheduled. I'm doing it old school where it's just like you hit me up. We work some things out. We can talk about some ish, and I'm here to help. But yeah, that's what I got going on in March. And I know that you're on tour right now.
Yes, the Bryson Wind Tour 46. We kicked off in New York. It was so amazing. We're heading to DC next. After that, I believe it's Pittsburgh, Chicago, Dallas, Philadelphia, ending back in New York. So yeah, I am. I need all of these things because, baby, these next 2 to 3 months, I feel like if I don't have my ish together, I will be falling apart. So I need to take
Yeah.
action to get myself in order.
Okay. Listen, you're not the only one. And I'll be checking to make sure, because I need you to check on me to make sure that I got mine in order as well, because I ain't trying to fall by the wayside. Okay.
Listen, okay, accountability partners forever. This has been your March Purple Pants Premonitions. We'll be back next month in April. Thank you so much, Gary DeAndre.
Yes.
It's the Purple Pants Podcast. You better listen in public, might make your stomach hurt. Ooh. It's the Purple Pants Podcast. You're trying to unwind, you better get that box wine. It's the Purple Pants Podcast. You're trying to get your snack, you better hurry right back though. It's the Purple Pants. It's the Purple Pants.